Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first official episode, I guess, of Hot Talk this year. We did our little Where We're Going video a couple weeks ago, so you can go watch that one. But this one is going to be our Universal Halloween Horror Nights review, ranking of the houses thing.
Yeah.
We didn't even do this last year because no one really watched these videos, but we decided, screw it, we're just going to make the video. We know that a lot of people don't watch these videos just because a lot of people that watch are a little more local and don't really go to Halloween Horror Nights. But
Right.
without spoiling the whole video, I will say this. If there's ever been a year to consider going to Halloween Horror Nights, it should be this year that you consider it.
Yes.
We're going to, talk about why as we talk about all 10 haunted houses, and me and Kim have our own individual ranks. So I don't really know exactly what she's ranked her. She doesn't really know what she's ranked mine. I feel like there's probably going to be some similarities and stuff, and we also ranked the scare zones.
Yeah.
Now, a quick thing that I want to talk about before we get into that, because I kind of want to get any negativity out of the video in this video out of the way, because I do think that this year is probably the best year we've went.
Yes.
So we did the premium Scream Night. This was the second year that they did it. The first year, basically everyone said it was a ghost town, because tickets just didn't sell. From the research I've done, I guess they only sold like 1/3 of the allotted tickets. There was only a couple thousand people at that event,
Yeah.
which is not much. This year it oversold, and they said it was sold out, but yet they were still selling tickets at the gate. And the weather was bad, which also kind of didn't help things to begin. Well, the weather was bad to begin with, and so I think that people like flooded certain houses. And where last year, well, I guess I should reiterate what Premium Scream is it's basically promised lower wait times, which they were lower wait times. They were lower
Yes.
wait times, and unlimited food and non-alcoholic beverages at least any of the HHN stands. I don't think that applied like every single restaurant in Universal, but the majority of them and the HHN food stands.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
The main problem was that they did oversell the event, so the food lines are sometimes longer than the haunted house lines, and a lot of the haunted house lines might say 20 minutes and they're 40 minutes, things like that.
Yeah.
Where last year people said they got to do, every house twice and all of that, where we got to do all of them in a couple food booths, and we were there till 2 a.m.
Yes.
So it was a little bit disappointing because we only did one night this year because we assumed even if it's busier, we will get to do multiple. When we have Express, we get to do multiple. Like, you can only use Express one time, but you can go back through them again normal, like
Yeah.
later in the evening, whenever you want. But we didn't have time to do that at all at this event. And we didn't even really get to eat that much. And the tickets were right around 400. We paid, I think, $385, but by the end, I think they were up to like $415 or something like that. I
Yeah.
think was the maximum people were paying, I do believe. So, I mean, not a terrible event, but there are some things that were promises that we didn't get. They were supposed to, like, the big thing with this event is they were supposed to sparse people through the houses. Like, it should have been just me and Kim going. That happened in one of the 10 houses.
One of the houses.
And, like, I kind of get irritated because the second time in a row where the person at the door is like, all right, you're just going to go through people in front of you. And I was like, damn it. And she's like, well, they told us that we're just supposed to send people through because the lines are bad. And right there, her saying that was the answer that they messed up. You promised us, and it's on the website, sparse entry into the houses, and they just basically, from what we talked to most people, almost no one got that outside of the first couple hours.
Yeah.
They also did things like early entry. What do they call that?
Stay and
Stay and scream. But they didn't even say that was happening for this event, so we assumed it wasn't. So we missed like an hour and a half time we could have been there because we had day tickets too for all the days we were there. Didn't know they were doing that. They never advertised this panel show that was going on, and we didn't see the sign, so when we entered, it started downpouring. And so there's a lot of things that Universal just didn't straight up tell us about. They also let people dress in costume for the first time ever in Halloween Horror Nights history, because we were really confused, because I didn't see that. Apparently they advertised that somewhere, because other people did.
I didn't know that either, yeah.
But yeah, so we kind of wanted, so we're not really reviewing based on any of the experience with Premium Scream, but my quick review on Premium Scream is, I probably wouldn't do it next year. We're just going to do Express what we normally do. We used to do RIP, but that's like $400 plus per person now, plus a ticket. So you're spending like almost at least $500 just per person to do RP because it doesn't include ticket. Premium Scream did include the ticket.
Yeah.
It wasn't $400 plus your ticket. It was just $400. But all the other things like RIP or Express, you're paying your ticket price plus that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just kind of wanted to touch on it because that is what we did. I know that some people are probably thinking, should I do Premium Scream? What was it like? You probably already heard some things, so we wanted to mention that. But yeah, I think so. First, what we will probably talk about, we'll do the scare zones first. They only did 4 scare zones this year. which realistically the last couple years it's really only been 4 scare zones.
Yeah, I mean, they had other little things around. Like, they also had that club horror, which was basically like a little dance club kind of thing. And then they also had Mel's Die-In, where they actually included zombies this year that were skating around and walking around and stuff, too.
But, like, last year they said they had 5, but the opening scare zone when you entered the park was literally just the truss that said HHN and some actors.
Yeah.
There was no scenic. Because since they built that new Minions land with the Minions, I don't really want to call it a ride, but it's like a moving walkway where you shoot things that barely work. People just assumed that there was something where they weren't allowed to put haunted stuff in Minions Land anymore. But then this year they did extend it all the way back to the stage.
Yeah.
Like they used to, like in up until that point. So it was cool that they did that. Some other my favorite thing that they did this year, and we only got to see it once because again we only had one night, is they have roaming Art the Clowns, and they can go into gift shops. They can go into restaurants and just bother you and do Art the Clown stuff. He rides his tricycle. There's tons of videos you've probably seen him. He's great. I had one small interaction with him, and it was cool. But yeah, so we'll kind of get into the scare zones now. So I'm curious, and I feel I'll be surprised if we don't match on this, but what's your number one? Actually, what is your number one scare zone this year?
Number one scare zone is the Cat Lady of Crooked Lane.
Yeah, okay. I thought that would probably be yours, but I wasn't sure if it was the Masquerade one, but in all the years we've went, I think this is my favorite scare zone they've ever done.
It's really cool because they made a full-on house that the Cat Lady lives in at the end of the scare zone. They also made like a little, like, I guess you would call it a cat play area where you could walk through. It was like a little mini haunted house within the scare zone.
Boo holes,
which I thought was really cool. They really went all out for this scare zone, I feel. And it was very immersive. And it was kind of cool because they actually have where they have storyboards up that you can read. And it's the story of the Cat Lady of Crooked Lane. And if you go into the scare zone a certain way, it progresses into, you getting to the house and everything, the story progressing and everything like that. But it's actually kind of fun to walk the opposite direction because then everything is like reversed.
Yeah. The first time you go to the scare zone, you should enter it the right way, which is, from Mel's Die-In. And that you want to enter that way the first time at least you go, so you get the full story. Because also as you go through, so the whole story is you're walking down the Crooked Lane, which they always do as a scare zone, but they never used to push it out into front of the animal actors. And that's where the house is. But the whole story is that she lures kids there at Halloween night, and then she turns them into cats. And I don't know, I guess she just takes care of them and feeds them, and they're her little cat beasts. But as you progress through the lane, they start as children, and they slowly become more and more cat monsters. And there's even little shows that'll happen, like little mini shows where, like, I guess I never saw this one, but I guess Kim saw one where she actually turns them into a cat person. And there's another one where she comes out and she feeds them like arms and legs and stuff. And just really excellent scare zone. So then number 2, let's see if we match here, is the Masquerade Dance with Death is how I do. Yep, so you have number 2 as well. Man, if Cat Lady wasn't so great, this would have been my number 1.
Yes, exactly.
It's hard to describe it. I'm probably not inserting footage here because I didn't film it because, again, I like to enjoy it, and if I'm experiencing through my phone screen, why not just watch a vlogger? If we had a second night, I would have filmed, and I just don't feel like getting copyright flagged by YouTube and taking other people's footage, so go look at that. If what you're wanting to see is footage, go look at it. We're just going to be talking about our experience. But anyways, it was a weirdly beautiful scare zone.
Very beautiful, because it was supposed to be basically like a Victorian masquerade with vampires. So you had these beautiful elaborate gowns, and you had people on stilts, and just very elaborate like scenes and sets and stuff like that. And the music they were playing was just very ethereal and mysterious, and it just very, very immersive kind of area. And the scares were fantastic. They were just really coming at you. And
there's people on stilts, and it was just really cool. And it's the way they would dance with each other it was just very. And then there was that thing in the middle, which I don't even know what it's supposed to be. It was almost like an exploded chandelier or something.
Yeah.
Like when I say exploded, not like actually exploded, but someone like used like the term like exploded skeleton, like something that's a little abstract, like that's what I kind of mean by that.
If you're a theater fan, think Phantom of the Opera when the chandelier comes crashing down to the stage. That's basically what they were like kind of insinuating, is there's this crashed chandelier in the middle of this beautiful setting. So.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then what do you have for, I'm assuming you have mutations as well.
Mutations,
for 3. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so our scare zones, which I figured to be exactly the same. Another really great one of my favorite ones that's been back there. And one thing that I didn't, well, let me talk about what the scare zone is. It's Mutations Toxic 20. So it's basically, because this is the New York section, so it's like a city that there's some toxic goop from a company. I think it's from the same company that did the Bugs Eaten Alive thing, I believe.
Yes, it is the same company.
Which something cool that Universal does, they tie these things in where if you're just a normal person that goes here, you'll never know these things. But if you're somewhere that's a fanatic, like we have become over the years, then it's nice to see these things like, oh, the company that's responsible for this is the same company that was responsible for the bug mutations in a house that was about exterminating, but instead of exterminating it made the bugs, mutants.
Yeah.
And now it's, this toxic goo has made all these people mutants, so you have this really frenetic scare zone of like victims and mutants running around, and there's like little shows. But when we were there, and I've seen other POVs now too, because since we only got to go through all the scare zones and houses once, I have watched multiple POVs to kind of refresh myself, since we did 10 haunted houses in one night, so it sticks in my memory a little bit more. But there's like all these like shows that going around, and there's so many, the thing I was going to say, there's so many actors that were there, but it seems like that's how it's been, at least for the few opening nights. I mean, there was just scares left and right, they were just everywhere this night. And there's a lot of the toxic goo, which they light with black light so it glows. They also had, this is what I think I started to say, they had, that I didn't notice, like projection mapping on all of it that made it look like slime running down the buildings and stuff.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I think it was there, but we just didn't really look up. But, when I was watching the vloggers and stuff, you could really see it. So really excellent scare zone. Yeah. And then the last, of course, both were number 4. The last one is Origins of Horror. So this was the entry scare zone. The theme for this one's usually a little bit more loose. But the cool thing is they incorporated this, like, stained glass Gothic architecture thing into almost all the scare zones in some way.
Yes.
And this was the entrance one, but it also tied into a house called El Artista, which is right off of the entrance scare zone. It was kind of weird. It's the first time I've seen a house bleed directly into a scare zone. Yeah. Because even the gargoyle that you see in the scare zone is, like, in the house as well. Yeah. Which is cool, which we'll talk more about that house later. But, yeah, it was a really cool scare zone. A lot of the icons from the IP houses, like your Five Nights at Freddy, Terrifier, Jason, all had statues. Yeah. And a lot of the scare actors kind of looked like creepy stone people, I guess.
Yeah, there was like statues, and they were like they had like the metal, the like copper piping coming through them, like they were like destroyed, and then someone tried to put them back together or something like that. And then there were like the gargoyles walking around, and it was, for being just the like entryway one, it was actually pretty decent, with like just the little bit more, because they did expand it. So yeah, it was a pretty good entry one, because the only other one that I've really liked for the entry scare zone was the year that had the Pumpkin Lord, which would have been whatever, because everything was like old school Halloween theme that year. And that was probably I think that was 31. I really liked, yes, it was, because it was 31, like the 31st of October. The one big letdown I will also talk about real quick before we get into the houses. The only actual letdown of the event, because again, Premium Scream, that was a one-night thing. That's not going to be a letdown for others. Let me talk about something that's positive as well. The food booths this year all look really cool. Oh, yeah. There's 2 Terrifier ones. The Fallout one looked really neat. The Wyatt 6 one was really cool. We forgot to go down Sting Alley. There's a food booth down there as well. I don't actually remember what that one even is, but we just completely forgot it existed and didn't go down there. We ran out of time. They put a Five Nights at Freddy's. Very, very light layover at the pizza place Luigi's there. Like, there's like a photo op with some pictures of the animatronics. I was hoping they would put a couple, like, even if they weren't animatronics, of just the puppets in there. Yeah. So you could put, it's just a picture, and then the menu boards, the TVs look different. And they serve some special food, which was like pizza with spaghetti on it or something. But the disappointment this year was the tribute store.
It sounds like there were some complications that happened and they had to put in the arcade. So instead of it being like a 4 to 5 room tribute store, it was a 1 room one. Technically 2 if you could count.
It's 1.5.
1.5. Yeah, that's actually really fair, because what they did was, so the entire arcade is like one decently sized room for a tribute store, and then the half part is they use Sahara Traders, the gift shop for the Mummy ride. They use part of that.
Yeah.
As a little bit more HHN merch, and that's the whole tribute store. Like, what they have for the tribute store looks cool. It's like an old dilapidated museum, but it's one room where since 2018 or 2017, whenever they first started doing tribute stores, you know, we've been getting 4 to 5 room scare zones. It was just a really interesting choice because there were other buildings they could have put it in. But for some reason, it usually goes in the Mummy's extended queue, which is big, but for some reason they couldn't put it there this year because the Mummy thought they would need their extended queue, I guess. I don't know. It was weird, but that was the only big disappointment of the year. Oh, and the Dead Coconut Club was amazing this year.
Oh, yeah.
It's themed to, like...
It's basically a witches' coven sorority house.
So it's like witches in college.
Yes, witches in college. So it is actually called Coven, but it's Koven because their name of their thing is like Kappa, whatever it is, you know, Greek or whatever. But it was just so greatly well themed.
It was awesome. Yeah, this is the best. So this is the best Dead Coconut Club they did.
Yeah.
Because I even joked to Kim, like, some of the budget from the tribute store had to go here. Because it never used to push out, but now they even themed the outside to look like a sorority type of thing. They even had broom parking for the witches. And, like, downstairs, there's 2 bars downstairs, and that's kind of like the party place. One's kind of looks like it's almost like a potions area. There's a cauldron. Then the other is more of like, it seems like more of like a hangout bar for the witches and stuff. A lot of cool scenic there. Then upstairs, there's even like a bit of a bedroom of like one of the teenagers, you know, in college witch. And so there's a lot of stuff there.
And then there's like a big altar in the middle of it and stuff like that with ruins. And yeah, it was just really well done. It was really awesome.
Yeah. Also, if you like getting drinks, the drinks at the Dead Coconut Club are the same price, with a Blinky cup at least, as you pay in the parks. But they're actually made to order cocktails, so they're not just like out of a spout, like pre-mixed, very low alcohol things. So if like you know, like to partake, I would just recommend getting majority of your alcohol at Dead Coconut Club before you go in, just because you're just going to get a lot more for your value. Because it's really not bad, because like, I think it's like, it's a 12-ounce cup, and it's like $14. Most of them are like $14 for a 12-ounce cup, or you can get a Blinky cup, which is, I want to say it's 18 ounces.
It was 18 ounces.
I think it's 18 ounces, and it was $18, I believe.
$18, and then to refill it, it's the same price.
Right, but you get 6 more ounces.
You get more
every time.
Yeah.
So, like, if you are someone that does want to drink a lot, get the refillable cup. It might be annoying to have to carry it places with you, because you can't carry it into the house full.
Right.
But it is such a better value, like infinitely better value, and it's a souvenir cup. Actually, I don't think it's actually a Blinky cup this year. At least the one you got was not.
Yeah, it was not a Blinky cup this year, and I did not see any Blinky cups like in the thing. So I mean,
which I kind of like, because the Blinky cups are a pain to wash.
Yes.
But that's enough about that. Now we're going to talk about the houses. Now I'm pretty sure me and Kim have the same number 10. It's why it's 6, right?
Yes.
So, one thing I want to say before we really get into the houses is all of them were good. None of them were bad. No. Not a single one of these houses was bad this year. Wyatt 6 was a good house. It's just... So, it's based off of... Oh, God, what's his name? I forget the wrestler's name. Is it? Well, I don't remember.
I don't remember.
But because we're just not in WWE literally at all. I didn't even know what this was until I heard about it. So I had to do some research. So I'm like, well, I know a lot of people thought the same thing. But once you actually do research, it makes a lot of sense that it's at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Some people love this house. Like, people that are WWE fans, is like their favorite thing ever. And I'm really happy for them. But for us, like, there's just so many things that, even though I did a little bit of backstory research, I just didn't really understand the storyline too much, because, like, it's just not something I'm into. But I know that he has passed away and his brother took over the legacy, and it was really cool. This was one of the first houses we did, and my memory of this one is also just, like, I don't have, like, a huge memory of it. Like, I don't really remember too much about it.
I remember enough. You kind of start out in, like, the backstage area of a WWE wrestling match. And then it kind of like swerves into where you kind of go into this whole, like, these homes of these characters, that these Wyatt 6 characters, I can't even remember what they are, but
I can't remember all their names.
But you kind of go into their like domain and stuff like that, and you kind of get like a little bit of a history of them and stuff. But unless you're really a hardcore fan, I had no clue who they were or what they were.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, like I said, if you're into it, you'll really like the house. And like I said, there were cool scenics. You do get to go through like the woods and the cabins. The entrance is cool, which I know is very different, I guess, from the Hollywood one. The Hollywood one, I believe you enter through the cabin with this like rocking chair with the lantern on it, because that's like a whole thing. Where this one, it was kind of cool. They have it look like you're on the WWE stage, and they use all these like little like fiber optic lights to make it look like people with their like phone lights on in the crowd, and there's like a jump scare as you're entering, so it's like you're literally entering the world of wrestling.
Yeah.
Because then you go backstage wrestling, and then it slowly progresses into the horror elements of the world of the Wyatt Six that they made. So most of it's not really wrestling, because even though it's based on a wrestler, these characters really don't have anything to do with wrestling per se, like their stories don't at least.
They're just like personalities that he's created.
But let's say, okay, so what do you have for number 9?
Number 9, I have
what is it?
Grave of Flesh.
Okay, yep, so mine's the same for that as well. This house, the only reason it's at number 9 is I found the story really hard to kind of follow. Like, I don't think you could follow the story unless you did a back like search. Basically, you start, which is a really cool scene I do like, when you enter. You're being buried. Like, you're dead, you're being buried. So, like, one of the first scenes is you look up, and you're looking out of your grave hole. And, like, there's even, like, a tent on top, like how they would typically lower, which is really cool. And then you're kind of, like, underground, and so there's, like, these weird mole creature things. And then you slowly make your way. It gets very ethereal, which I did like. It gets real trippy and weird. It gets almost Beetlejuicy.
Yeah.
There's, like, weird ghosts, because now you're supposed to be in, like, the other world. Not necessarily hell, I don't think, but just the other world. Like
I think you're supposed to be in, like, kind of like purgatory, and, like, you're on your way to be judged on, or whatever you want to call it.
And it's very abstract. Like, I don't know what I thought the house was, but I was just so perplexed, which I kind of liked. But, and again, this year is so strong, especially, like, after this, it got a little hard to rank, because I'm like, well, I like this house. It feels weird to put these things at 9, 8, 7, but I'm like, everything can't be number 1.
Yeah.
Like, so everything's really good. But yeah, Grave of Flesh is a little weird, but I did like it. All right, what do you have for number 8?
Number 8, I have Fallout.
Wow, that's weird. That's what I have as well. Huh. I'm really surprised that you have, like, so much similar to mine. I like the Fallout house. The only thing that I wish that it had a little bit grander of a scale, almost all the scenes are kind of claustrophobic in it. It very much focuses on being in the vaults, which, I mean, is the easiest thing to make a haunted house out of.
Yeah.
There were some cool things, like they had the armor that I forget what it's called that the one character wears, and you know there was some decent scares and stuff in there, and it was really beautiful looking, but it was a little samey, I guess, which is why it's a little bit lower on my list. Like the scenes kind of blended together, because my memory of this one isn't super great either, even after watching a couple POVs of it too. Like, I still think it looks really cool, and if you're a Fallout fan, which I'm much more a fan of the show than the games, which I am a gamer myself. I just I don't really like Bethesda type games too much. It's not really my style. And Kim hasn't seen the show or played the games, but I mean, the show's great. I think anyone would like the show. You do not have to like the games to like the show, but and that's what it's solely based off of. Great characters, and the new season's coming out. I actually think, because the new season's going to be focused on Vegas, because one of the games in the Fallout series is New Vegas, and I think if they do a Fallout Season 2 house down the road, which they're very likely to do if this one's popular, I mean, they did it with Stranger Things for multiple years, I think that could be even better house if they focus on some of this Vegas theming, like post-apocalyptic Vegas. That actually would be cool.
Yeah.
So I really like the Fallout house. I did think, again, all of these houses are good, and there are some really good scares and stuff like that. But that's the reason, it's just a little bit lower on the list. And then for number 7, I have Terrifier. Do you have the same or no?
No, I have Hatchets and Chains.
Okay, so we'll talk about Terrifier first. I liked Terrifier, but I guess I was hoping for a little bit more out of it, because Terrifier 2 is my favorite slasher movie of all time. Like, I've decided over the last couple of years, it is my favorite slasher movie of all time. I love 3 as well, but 2, the old school Halloween vibes from that movie, just love it. And I think the house did a pretty good job translating that, but I don't know. I feel like it could have been maybe just a little bit better, and I wasn't a huge fan of the wet path, dry path, because I was excited at first because they really hyped it up like, oh, we're going to drench with blood. But the problem is that there wasn't theming to it. It's literally just a tunnel you walk through that has red lights, and then they just literally have hoses that are like opened with holes that just pour water on you. That's it. There's no corpses in there. There's no theming as to why you're getting drenched in blood.
Yeah.
You just are.
There was like a little bit of blood like dripping on the walls, but like not enough to make me think, oh, this is just like...
Right.
This is just blood oozing down from all the victims or something
right,
like
they could have
that.
had like a menagerie of his victims hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been a really cool idea.
Even some bodies just laying above us.
Or even like some of his most famous kills that are featured throughout the house, like hanging above you or something.
Yeah.
But it was just a tunnel, and the dry path, I've seen a POV of it, and it's kind of the same thing. But I mean, there are a lot of his kills, like the girl that gets cut in half, the bedroom scene. There's a scene where you get like sprayed with bleach, which is just water, but they have bleach scents in there, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have the clown cafe, so they have all the iconic stuff, and I really did like the house. It was really good, but I was hoping for maybe like a tiny bit more from the Terrifier house. But I mean, it was really faithful to the source material. So, and then you can go. You can go ahead and talk about Hatchet and Chains. That's actually my number 6, so it's right above where you ranked it.
Yeah, so I ranked that one number 7. Terrifier is actually higher up on my list, but Hatchet and Chains was a Sinister Cinema spinoff. So if you're familiar with the Sinister Cinema, try to say that 10 times fast. Sinister Cinema group of houses. It's basically like this horror host that has all these like these B movies that he plays and stuff like that, and it's basically HHN, the creators, coming up with all these like wacky like they had like the Devil Baby and a bunch of other things. And so this is another installment of one of those movies, and it's Hatchet and Chains, which are basically 2 bounty hunters. One of them's actually a demon, one of them's human, and they hunt demons to bring them back to hell. And just, I really liked the Old West feel that it had, but then it also incorporated this demonic element to it. I really enjoyed that, just kind of like that whole like spin on like a Western, but it's, demonic.
Yeah, the aesthetic of it was definitely my favorite thing about the house. Even the facade was really cool.
Yeah.
They actually have like an outside section. There's even which is very rare for Horror Nights to have. As you're walking into the house, still outside, there's like a scare actor, which they don't actually talk. It's like a voice recording, but still they have that. They had like a dead horse thing. They had a well out there that fog was spewing out of. So they really went out on that. And yeah, just the aesthetic of the Demon Wild West thing and like the actors. This wasn't one of the scariest ones, but there's just so many cool scenes, and I thought it was a unique aesthetic. I've seen Wild West ones, but the way they did it, like there's even a part where I think you're like walking through a bridge and it looks like the wood under you's burning and stuff.
Yeah, the floor was actually like, there was like burning embers underneath the floor. I actually was kind of scared at one point because I'm like, is it safe to walk on these floors?
Because they did a good job making it look like there's huge holes in them, but obviously there wasn't. Really, really solid house. And like honestly from here, because again, my number 6 was Hatchet and Chains, and really like Terrifier was the last house that I had even minor complaints about. The rest are just kind of going to be me just saying how much I love them. But so my number 6 was Hatchet and Chains. And then what was your number 6?
My number 6 is Dolls. Let's Play Dead.
Okay, cool. Well, so that's actually, it's next on mine. That'll be my number 5. So this house was creepy.
It was so messed up.
Aesthetically, this is the creepiest house. Not the scariest as far as like just pure terror, but there's some things in here that make you go, what? Like the person that does, I think like me and Kim looked at each other and I was like, whoever designed that house had like a weird childhood. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like just, I mean, the aesthetic of the house is kind of think like Rugrats, like her doll and that, like, like the things she would do to that, like that kind of doll, like missing most of his hair and then just gluing some limbs onto it. Like that's the aesthetic. Both the animatronics and the actors are just these messed up amalgamations of just plastic and thing, because the idea is that you are somehow, I don't really know the exact story, but somehow you're shrunken down to the size of a doll and you're inside of a dollhouse. And so you are the size of these, that's why they're the same size as you, these dolls. And there's just, I mean, I remember like the one room, there's just like this amalgamation of legs and arms, and it was just there, and I'm like, what is this? And it smelled weird. It both smelled good and gross at the same time.
Baby powder and melting wax.
Yes. Yeah, like probably, I think they were probably going for burning plastic.
Yeah, it was like, Yeah, it was just this weird smell.
Yeah, it
and-
wasn't repulsive, but it really brought you into the world.
Yeah, like you just, you know how you, like when you're little and you kind of sniff your Barbie doll and you're like, that weird plasticky smell that it has, that's what it smelled like in this house. One of my favorite scares in that house was there was this baby doll, like the naked head kind of baby doll, and he comes out and he just goes, Mama!
Oh, yeah.
It was so
It was weird.
freaky, because I'm just like, no.
Yeah, this is a freaky house. If you do not, which dolls do, I mean, like, I don't really have any real phobia of, I have real phobias, but not, like, real phobias of, like, fake things, like, how people have, like fake scary things, like clowns and stuff. Like, my phobias are, like, centipedes, because, oh my god, like, things like that. But, like, I would say the one thing that probably does sort of, like, give me the heebie-jeebies the most at haunted houses are, like, creepy messed up dolls, and these ones were life-size creepy messed up dolls that people were dressed as for some of them, and very just unsettling house. If this is going to be very similar, I think, for some people, like how the bug house was a couple years ago, where if you don't like bugs, it freaks you out. But like, I could very obviously tell those bugs are fake. I don't like bugs either, but they're very obviously fake. But these, you know, I mean, these dolls, dolls are already fake, so just everything about it just gave me the ick, but in a good way, right? So that was your number 6?
That was my number 6.
Okay, so my number 5 was Dolls Let's Play Dead, so we've already just talked about that. What was your number 5?
My number 5 is Five Nights at Freddy's.
This is weird, because that's my number 4, so...
We're just gonna keep going, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, I do not really like the source material very much. I never played the games, and I really despise the movie. I think it is horribly made. Horribly made cash grab of a movie. Only good thing in it, which is really the thing that they carried over to this, was that the Jem Henson studio made the puppets, and the puppets look great in the movie, and they partnered with them for the animatronics and puppets in this house, and they look amazing, and there's so many of them.
I've never seen so many animatronics
in a Halloween Horror Nights house.
Halloween Horror Nights house like this.
This has to be one of them.
Literally everywhere.
This has to be one of the most expensive haunted houses Universal's made, just because of those animatronics. Yeah. But even in, like, it's not really the facade, but like the first scene that you enter, I mean, I guess it's kind of a facade. It's just inside is Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. And the very first scene, which I'm glad they did it very first. So you walk in, and there they are on the stage singing that song, the Secrets That You Keep While You're in Your Sleep, or whatever that song is.
The secrets that you keep.
Now, this house is probably one of the least scary houses, like, as far as, like, jump scares, but it's that house, kind of like the Ghostbusters house, where it's just cool. Like, everything you look at, you're like, wow, this is so screen accurate to what was in the movie.
I don't know. Cupcake got me quite a few times.
Did he? Yeah. I mean, it is Halloween Horror Nights, and again, unfortunately, we only got to go through one time. I missed all scares in the Freddy house. I got none, but I think Kim did get a couple.
Yeah.
But I think it is meant to be a little less on the scary side, more on the neat side.
Yeah.
But I think they nailed it. I mean, some of these puppets are just cool. Because, again, it's hard to tell what's an animatronic and what's actually a puppet. But, I mean, they're just everywhere. Like, they're coming out of crevices, and they have all of them. They, you know, of course, they have Freddy. They have, and I don't remember all their names. They have the cupcake thing, the duck-looking dude, the fox-looking dude.
Yeah.
The one other dude.
I know there's
all the dudes, they have them all.
Or
yeah,
something.
Chicky, yeah.
Yeah, or Chica. I don't know what her name is.
Yeah, it's one of those. Might be Chica.
I just know Cupcake, because it just kept coming at me, and I'm like, ugh.
But you're going all through the pizzeria. You get to go through the security room, and just everything you would want as a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, it's there. Like, if you are a big Five Nights at Freddy fan, this is probably going to be your favorite house of the year. Like I said, I'm just not a fan of the source material, but I thought the house was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So that was my number 4. And so what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Galkin.
Which is my number 3. Galkin was really cool. I actually thought this might be my favorite one, but the only reason it's not my favorite is I think the first half of the haunted house is a little bit slower. Yeah. And then the second half is where I saw someone else describe it as it's one of those houses where it starts pretty normal, and then it gets like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? What is happening? Yeah. Like, by the end, it gets so weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is a pretty house. It is, like, based in the winter. It's based off of, like, what is it, Nordic folklore, I think?
Nordic monsters.
Yeah.
So they're going into that kind of theme where I think they're trying to go to different areas, because you know how they had, like, the Monstros haunted houses a few years ago, where it was all Hispanic monsters and stuff like that. So I think they're trying to, like, go into a different area and be like, well, why don't we try, like, this, like, Nordic stuff? They have some pretty messed up things, and they do. big horned, creepy, antlered. I don't even know how to describe them. They were just creepy.
Yeah, probably the standout scene is like towards the end, because you literally, I don't know what the storyline is, if you're pooped out or if you're supposed to be dead, but you literally, it eats you. It's this, you turn the corner and it's this giant, like, it kind of an animatronic, because the face and stuff moves. It's not all animatronic, of course, but it's this giant monster that you have to walk in the mouth, and then you're in its innards for a little bit, and then you leave. So I'm not sure if that's just you're dead now, if it's literally shitting you out. But yeah, really pretty, but eventually gets pretty nasty and gnarly and weird haunted house. And I just really like the aesthetic. I love the wintry haunted houses, because there's not many out there, and something about it, like, because I guess it's just always kind of, I mean, this one doesn't really, but just the winter with horror setting always reminds me of The Thing, which is my favorite horror movie. Has Halloween Horror Nights ever done a Thing haunted house?
I don't think so.
I don't know. If they have, leave it in the comments. If they haven't, I would love to see it. And even if they have, I'd love to see it come back. That would be dream come true for them to get a house based off of the original.
Yeah.
So I feel like I know what your number 3 is, because my number 3 was Galkin. That was your number 4. So what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Terrifier.
Okay, yep. Which we talked about quite a bit. I guess, so why did you rate it, why did you rate it so high?
I just really enjoyed it. I just thought it was really great. I loved being immersed in the scenes, because that's what they were kind of going for, where you were immersed into the the kills and stuff like that. Like, they didn't have just the one girl hanging in the saw room. They actually had numerous people being sawed and stuff like that.
Because, like, I think the idea of it was, like, it's his own carnival filled with his greatest hits of murder, I believe, is kind of what they were going for there.
Yes, and then at the end, they actually had a little area that was unique to Florida, where it's the Tunnel of Love, and it's Art's version of Tunnel of Love. So you had those swan boats that you always see, like, in the old school Tunnel of Loves and stuff. But they were, artified, I guess you could say. One of them had, like, 2 heads, like, on them, and, they were bloody and all that fun jazz. I just really liked, because they, like, put elements from every single movie in there, and the ending was actually really cool too, how they, like, kind of, the blood path was, meh, but at the end they actually had, like, a little jump that comes out, and you're like, oh, that's cool, so. Probably
my favorite part of the house, which is kind of weird, but it was just really trippy to walk through, it was like the Christmas section, but there's this part where it's just these walls, and I don't really know what it is, but there's all these different Christmas lights behind, like, some kind of scrim or something. I don't really know what it was, but it was just really cool, because all the lights are like kind of like flashing and throbbing and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just really, like, disorienting, and there was, like, scares put into this tunnel. Yeah. So I believe 2 and 1 for us now are going to be the same. My number 2 is Jason Universe, which I assume that has to be yours, because there's no way, I was going to say, our number 1, there's no way that's not matching. So yeah. So Jason Universe, this one is a surprise. This is probably my least anticipated, because I've never watched a Friday the 13th movie from beginning to end. I'm just not the biggest fan of slasher movies. They don't really scare me at all. I like the ones that are super crazy, or like the original Halloween, because that one did stalking really well. It was creepy in a different way, but, like, I knew what Friday the 13th vibe is, and I just, like, never really super gelled with it, I guess. But damn, this house was spooky.
It was.
This is one of the scariest houses they've done.
Oh my gosh, they did such a good job with this, because, like, it starts off your typical, you're in the woods, you're at Camp Crystal Lake, you have all those elements happening, you get to see his mom, you have all this stuff, and then you go into this giant Jason head, and all hell, Jason goes to hell.
Yeah. Well, and leading up to, because that's the quintessential part, is once you go through the Jason head, but leading up to it, I mean, still, there are so many scare actors, and most of them, not all, but almost all of them are just Jasons, different variations of Jasons, coming out of everywhere. But then, you go into this Jason head, and essentially all it is a longer than it probably should be hallway, going back and forth between, like, different, like, things. Like, I think the one's supposed to be, like, bushes, and the other one might be just, like, a hallway. I don't remember exactly what all the materials they were using, but the thing is that it's a long hallway, and it's just playing very loud, the ch-ch-ch-cha-cha noises really loudly, and there's just Jasons out of boo holes everywhere.
Every Jason, every boo hole.
It's like it's only like a minute probably long section, because, I mean, Halloween Horror Night House are like 5 minutes anyways.
Yeah.
So, but it feels so long, because, like, I mean, you're watching because again, even we did get conga lined in this one as well. We started by ourselves, we got conga lined by the end, but it didn't matter because like you're watching people get scared right in front of you, and there's two Jasons coming out right here at you as you're watching them get scared. Because again, since it's a long hallway, the actors can just run back and forth and just come out of all these different boo holes, and you never know when they're going to trigger one. And some of these hallways are almost pitch black with just a strobe light slowly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the oldest school of oldest school, but damn, is it effective.
It was so effective.
And I mean, it hit hard. There's some also cool scenes, like there's like a mid-break point, because this is the one that's at the factory. Not the factory, wow.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. They have it there. I was thinking factory because last year it was Mr. Sweet's candy factory thing.
Yeah.
But they did that as well, where halfway through you got to see the actual like factory. Well, halfway through you get to like, so there's like a car, and you get to talk to Jason's mom when she talks to you and stuff like that, talking about all the kids just wanting to have dirty sex, you know, and all of that. But yeah, just overall, not the absolute best scenic house that year, but we got such good scares, and everyone I know that's went through it has said it's one of the most, like, consistently it's going to get you houses. And that just, I love scares at the end of the day. If you have good scenes and amazing scares, I love those amazing scares. All right, so now it's time to talk about number one, which I don't want to like be over like exaggerative here, but I do believe, at least in all the times we've been here, this house is the number one of any house I've ever seen. And we've seen, and there's been some amazing ones. I mean, this for me beats the Dead Man's Pier, my favorite that year, and my other big all-time favorite, the Poltergeist house. This is better than those to me. And it's El Artista. What's the full name of it? That's the full name. Is it just El Artista?
Oh gosh.
We're just gonna call it El Artista.
I thought it was the Horrors of Mexico.
Yeah,
or something
it has like
that.
a longer name.
It has a longer name.
But essentially what it is a artist moves into a haunted house for like inspiration, and I guess like the spirits kind of like drive him mad.
Yeah.
Because like the ending scene, like he's like, well, unalived himself.
Yeah.
So
I read a little snippet about it because I love spoilers and I'm weird like that. Basically, it's this artist goes to this mansion to get inspired. What he doesn't know is that the mansion is haunted. Mm-hmm. There are good spirits and bad spirits. The bad spirits want to drive him mad, so he will paint them into paintings so they can escape the house. The good spirits are trying to prevent that, obviously.
Yeah.
Things don't turn out that they're supposed to.
This house, I mean, for one, when you walk in, I've never seen a facade this big that Universal. I mean, they built a whole house in there, like a whole, house. Like the Haunting of Hill House was probably the biggest one I'd seen up to this point. This was bigger and better than that. Everywhere you look, there's just so much detail. It's insane that this is a house that will only be standing for like 2 months, and then you'll never be able to go into it again. It's crazy to me. I hope that this house's theme, because Universal's been doing this thing, like they just opened the one in Vegas, or we opened one in Chicago, maybe other places. Ooh. I hope that they at some point, like whenever they cycle a house at one of those, or maybe put that in like the show. The Chicago one's probably already set in stone, but because like Scarecrow made it to those ones because people liked it so much, they wanted to make a full-time version. This needs like a year-round version, like.
So beautiful.
It's so beautiful. They have all these Pepper's ghost effects, so it just no matter where you look, you're usually seeing a ghost, and it's weird because it's in places you wouldn't typically think people would look. It might just be up in a little corner on a balcony up in a house, and you see a ghost walking through the window. It's insane. I mean, they built like this whole courtyard with a running water fountain. Just also the scale of these scenes. They're huge. They go multi-levels.
Yeah.
There's a gargoyle that's flying around in this one like kind of greenhouse looking thing. Just everything about this house was really good. They also, it wasn't as scary as Jason, but there was a lot of good scares in it too.
Yes.
And
they incorporated the whole theme of this year's HHN was the conservatory, and they had like these stained glasses that you could get with the characters and stuff. Those stained glass windows were in this house.
Yeah, because this house kind of seemed like it was the icon of this year almost.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone, every YouTuber and vlogger that I watch, and I watch a lot because I'm kind of obsessed with Halloween Horror Nights and what Universal does. Everyone, after they left this house, was just like, even the one YouTuber I watch, his name is like Kevin Heimbach, I think is how you say his name. He's a little more cynical with stuff. Him leaving that place was just like, he's like, that's the best thing Universal's ever done. He's like, I'm amazed. Yeah. Like, if you leave that house and your jaw's not on the floor, like, you just don't appreciate the work that goes into this stuff. And like, yes, Universal has endless amount of money, but like, it's the art team that makes it. Like, Universal has endless money to give it, but someone had to come up and design this and build it in a year's time. Like, that's crazy. Less than a year's time. That it's just crazy. Yeah. have you been to Halloween Horror Nights? What was your rankings and stuff like that? I will close the video off with just one quick little thing. Because I want to at least mention it. There's really not a spot too much to mention on our channel, but this video is already super long. You've probably clicked off. We did go to Epic Universe for the first time, because that was like, Epic Universe was like the primary reason we really wanted to go this year, and of course Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
But we did 2 days of Epic Universe. A lot of people have been complaining. We had great days at Epic Universe. We rode everything multiple times, even Ministry.
Yeah.
Very minimal breakdowns for us. You really should experience Epic Universe. I mean, maybe if you want to wait next year just from dying out working, because I've seen horror stories of people going, every ride's closed down, and like there's never open all day. Thankfully it didn't happen to us, but Monsters Unchained, amazing ride. If you like horror and stuff like that, it uses the same ride system as the Harry Potter ride over at, there's like 5 of them. The Forbidden Journey one.
Forbidden Journey.
It's on the Koopa
it's
arms.
on the little arm thing. Yeah.
It's monsters everywhere, the land, the How to Train Your Dragon, which I'm super sad. I don't know if you can even see the shirt, but I wanted to meet Toothless, and I have this shirt that has Toothless dressed in all these little Halloween costumes, and it literally came while I was on vacation, because it took over a month because it came from some sketchy company, but I was upset that I didn't get to show Toothless my Halloween shirt. But yeah, the How to Train Your Dragon land is really cool. Even though this is the 3rd Harry Potter land they've made in Orlando, it's also amazing. It is the best one.
Yeah.
And of course, Nintendo Land. We've done the one in California, but this one's bigger. It is the most overstimulating thing you could possibly go into. But it's amazing. Just the park is just awesome. You really should take a trip to Epic. So if you have the chance to go to Halloween Horror Nights this year, you absolutely should, and you should also do a day of Epic Universe while you're there. And stay at Aventura and just and then you walk over to Sapphire Falls. You get on the little boat and it'll take you right to City Walk. That's you get to stay like half the price of Sapphire Falls. Not half, probably like 1/3. It's less. It's less. Aventura is less than Sapphire Falls, but it's like like 2-minute walk over there, and then you just hop on the boat. It's expensive, but like if you've never been to Halloween Horror Nights, you might see the ticket price just for a day like a night ticket and say that's $100 or whatever. But like once you go there and you get 10 haunted houses and they're all like some of the best haunts you've ever been to quality, you start to understand why it's such an expensive event to go to. I mean, the Terrifier house, because they did the panel with Damien Leone, the maker of Terrifier, like the Terrifier house cost more than the entirety of the shoot for Terrifier 2. Which is kind of cool because like what started as like pretty hardcore horror fan indie film now has a Horror Nights house with food booths. Like that's really a cool story.
And if you think about it, he was like kind of their unofficial icon this year because he was roaming around. Yeah.
Just this year, and don't make the mistake we did. Go for a couple nights. Maybe do one express, one without. That's what we usually do. One express night, and the following night we just kind of vibe. And we'll wait in 1 to 3 like longer lines of our favorites and stuff like that. Also, a great cheat code is if you wait to the last 2 hours of the park, especially like if you're on a weeknight, like a Wednesday or Thursday, everyone's gone by then. You can just kind of go to houses.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, if you watched all the way to this end of the video, thank you very much for watching that long. And of course, now we're going to have all of our normal reviews starting. And right after this video, we're going to be filming a must-do list of 2025, just a bunch of haunted houses that you should visit this year. So make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're ringing the bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Also, dropping us a like is awesome, leaving a comment, all of that stuff just, helps more people find our videos. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye.